Awesome. Guy's so weird.
That's so weird.
Hey, listen, we've been together for like 43 minutes here, and I just gotta tell you guys, I like you guys. I mean, usually the 30-minute mark, that's like my good indicator, good enough time to get to know people and kind of feel everything out. And usually I don't like anybody, but and I didn't like you at the 30-minute mark. I already liked you before that. The moment was like, I think it was like 14 minutes and 37 seconds. I don't know what happened there, but that was the moment. So with that said, because I like you, I'm going to give you a couple options splashing in. People like options and choices, right? Let's give you two. Option A or option B. All in favor of option A, raise your hand. One guy? Awesome. You just became Secretary of Defense there, just like that, pal. Option B, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Option B it is. We're going to back up and going at 55 miles an hour. You guys are going to love this. I'm just kidding. If we were to take this vehicle into the water at 55 miles an hour, we have to back up into Montreal, Canada. This vehicle does 0 to 55 in 3 to 4 days at a downgrade. not too quick. Put my propeller on here. Let me splash in the water in just a second. There we go.
Going in.
Part of my horn here. Just like that, we're a boat. I said a boat, you guys from Canada. Part of my own here, part of my own. I love this job. I get to drive a perfectly good vehicle into the Charles River 5 times a day. I never get sick of this job. I think it's one of the greatest jobs in the world. I consider myself lucky to have it. Then again, I love what I do. And I think that's one of the keys in life. You have to love what you're doing. Your kid's on board. Whatever you do in life, you figure out what you want to do. You make sure you love what you're doing. Your life will be so much easier. You adults on board, you don't love what you're doing, do something else. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be. Been here for 8 years. You know, you hear people say I haven't worked a day in my life. I have not worked a day in 8 years. It's a job to me. I get paid. Actually, I get paid to be very, very immature. Totally works for me, and I'm good at it, right? I'm the square peg always trying to fit into the round hole, right? Guess what? I found all the other square pegs to tell my fellow captains here. They're a bunch of weirdos. Listen, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a healthy 5 on that scale. Most of my captains like 12s. Now, tough job too. What do I mean by that? If you're a doctor, teacher, lawyer, professor, nurse, if you're in sales, customer service, tour guide, radio host, you talk all day. That's what I do. 7 hours of straight talking, 5 tours a day. Matter of fact, today for lunch so far, I've had 14 cough drops and 3 Red Bulls. I used to get home at night. My ex-girlfriend would always say to me, "How come you don't want to talk to me?" I would always say to her, "Take my tour." Get out of here. You're not that bad. You're like, "Come on, buddy." I'm kidding. Hey, listen. If you take something from my tour, please take that with you. Love what you do, and always love what you do. And by the way, welcome to my office. Wait till we get a river. Beautiful views up here. To the left here, National Street Park. National Street Park here is the start to the Esplanade of jogging, walking, biking path. Runs along the river. 7 years ago, it was covered with Canada geese. Literally covered. Of the flock that landed here, estimate 5,000 to 7,000. Yeah, they took over. They were like a blanket on the riverbank. People who were walking and jogging by were being attacked, bitten, and chased away. They're very territorial creatures. You ever been bitten or chased by Canada geese? If you have, you're too close to their nest. You can feed them and get close, and that's fine. But if you're close to their nest, this big circle they have, you know what I mean? And they'll come get you. So we got the green light over here to the left, so we're gonna be heading upriver. So the city had to get rid of these geese, and bottom line is that they went out and they hired a couple dogs, border collies, bird dogs, trainer brought his dogs down to the riverbanks and he let them go. And all they did 7 days a week for about a month was run up and down the river, keeping the geese off of the grass and into the water. It was like a giant wave at a baseball game that never ended, and they took off. No one knows where they came from, no one knows where they went, and no one cares. We're glad they're gone. If that flock had been successful in nesting here that year, it would have come back every year, and it simply would have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Every park in the city, every golf course, every piece of greenery, even Fenway Park would have been covered with Canada geese and little cigar butts. We're glad they're gone. And the problem with Canada geese, they mate for life. Every spring, each pair can have 6 to 10 goslings. Yeah, that's all the world needs, a few more gosling kids, right? Crazy. The guy, 74 years old, still works for the city keeping geese off of parklands. He's been hired by 15 different communities. He says it's the greatest job he's ever had. Walks his dogs and gets paid. Loves what he does. Part of my horn here. The dogs love it too. One dog will chase about 30, 40 geese into the water. The other dog will get into the water and corral them back up on the land so the other dog can run them back into the water. They're right. Museum of Science. The back of the Museum of Science here. There's some Canada geese in the grass back here. These are definitely not migratory birds. They're here year-round. But they had to have nested on an island or under a bridge, wherever the dogs can't get to them. But they don't own the land here. The Museum of Science, they don't own this land. They have a waterfront property. They have a land lease with the city of Cambridge. They pay $1 a year for 99 years for the land they sit on. I believe they're paying that off in installments or quarterly. Okay. See the white dome right here to the right? During thunder and lightning storms, which we might get today, you never know, they pack that white dome right there full of people. They then open up the dome and they pass out very long metal rods to everybody inside. It's awesome.
Woo!
Party! That's good. Hey, Mr. Vice President, you want to drive real quick, pal? Are you sure? Come on, dude. Seriously, I need a volunteer. I got to take a break. I've been driving all day, pal. Help me out. Bring your camera with you, too. Take a seat, buddy. Where are you from again?
I'm from Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. All right. Hold on, let's turn this off for a second.